Someone cooked here.
If you told a 12-year-old me that Spider-Man turned into the Hulk, I would have lost my damn mind. My two favorite Marvel characters, and it's not just a team-up, it's goddamn Spider-Man turning into the Hulk. How cool is that? Written by Tom Taylor, penciled by George Molina, inked by Adriano Di Benedetto and Roberto Poggi, colorized by David Curiel, lettered by Corey Petit, and edited by Will Moss, Sarah Brunstad, and Tom Brevoort. Thank you to them, because this story is really good, perfectly encapsulating Spider-Man's unwavering good-hearted nature and the burdens he faces manifested via his transformation into the Hulk, which is perfectly paralleled through Banner's trauma and the burden of his own transformation, leading to a captivating and heartfelt story. Not just between Spider-Man and Banner, but also the Hulk and Parker. The comic begins with Banner awakening in a crater, unsure of what's happening. Except that the Hulk is no longer inside of him. The Hulk is gone. I can't feel him. I can always feel him. At the edges, under the skin, lurking, looking in, looking out. But he's not here. Upon looking in the reflection of the puddle, Banner looks completely alone because despite all the trauma the Hulk causes, they are still family and care deeply for each other. Spider-Man, who emerges from a car wreckage nearby, interrupts Banner to find out what's going on, until his spider sense goes into overdrive. This is one of the coolest panels ever produced in comic books. I mean, that's just fucking peak, man. And don't worry, the comic wastes no time gassing up Hulk Spider-Man, and boy does he live up to the combination. Banner's words are the perfect description. A man with the proportional powers of a spider, with the temperament of a tantruming toddler. It doesn't get worse than this. It really doesn't. There's also a really funny panel where his hand gets stuck to the wall. Thankfully, before Spider-Hulk destroys all of New York, Banner calls up the motherfucking Fantastic Four. And if you didn't think Spider-Man turning into the Hulk was cool enough, how about Spider-Man hulking out and then fighting the Thing? It delivers too. The behemoths trade incredible blows for a few panels before the rest of the Fantastic Four restrain him so old Benny Boy can get one final left hook. With Spider-Man incapacitated, Banner suggests taking him to a remote and unpopulated island. The island they decide on is Astra Island, which is a fun little nod to classic Hulk comics. Upon waking up, Spider-Man's first words are, "Did I hurt anyone?" That's the Spider-Man I know, just the embodiment of helping others. Importantly, his second concern is whether he kept his mask on, not why he turned into the Hulk, why his jaw hurts so much, and if he still has pants on, which Banner mistakenly thinks would have been one of his top priorities. He instead asks, "Did I keep my mask on?" The burden Peter faces with his identity being revealed is one of the key aspects of his character. Obviously, everyone knows that. It's literally a major plotline of the last 3 Spider-Man movies. On an unrelated note, Tom Holland, I love you so very much. Please never stop being Spider-Man. Please, God, please. For a short crossover comic, it really hammers home the core principles of Parker, which is very appreciated because it's no secret that crossover comics are usually just a money printer, so for it to stay true to both characters is incredible. Afterwards, the Fantastic Four agree with Banner that he should stay with Spider-Man for the night while they figure out a solution. Here, the two of them have a beautiful conversation. Banner says, "I know exactly how scared you are." Peter warns Banner, "You should go now. Find somewhere to hide. You could get hurt." To which Banner says, "I could, but I don't think that's going to happen. It's okay. You're not alone." Demonstrating Banner's immense trust that even as a hulked-out version, Spider-Man will not harm him. And yeah, if there's someone to trust, it's goddamn Spider-Man. The next morning, unfortunately, we didn't get to see Spidey Hulk tear up Astra Island. However, Spider-Man's first words are, "Bruce." Obviously, because in his mind, he squashed poor little Bruce in a rage-fueled rampage. However, Banner is totally fine. Yet again, the very first thing Spider-Man worried about was Banner's safety. Just another brick added to Spider-Man's foundation of do-goodiness.
It's my shit.
The Fantastic Four then show up, and the pants gag continues. No complaints, it's very funny. Here they reveal their discovery of how Hulk ended up inside Spidey. Pause. And lo and behold, it was because of none other than Loki, who only casted his power out because he thought he was doing Banner a favor. Loki says, "No need to thank me," until he is tragically informed by Spider-Man that the Hulk took up residence in Parkertown. And poor Loki feels bad because he was genuinely just trying to help Banner out. Unfortunately, according to him, on Earth, there's this stupid rule. Magic must pay a price. For every magical action, there is an equal and particularly crappy reaction. So basically, Loki's telling the gang that they're shit out of luck and he's unable to undo the spell. Loki also charmingly says, "Was this a team up?" Comedy gold right there. Moments later, they regroup at their headquarters in Yancey Street, to which Franklin is there and says, "What's on everyone's mind?" That's kind of awesome. I do disagree with the kind of part though. Like, what do you mean, kind of? It just is awesome. Anyways, Spider-Man has a shocking, to Banner, hypothesis about how his sudden hulkiness came to be. My guess is the gamma energy was drawn to me due to the radioactive nature of my powers, attracted a sympathetic resonance. It is also important to note that Banner does not know Spider-Man as Peter, because of the One More Day events, hence why he's so shocked that Spider-Man is smart. So when Loki casted out the gamma energy from Banner, that energy decided Spider-Man's radioactive spider energy was just where it wanted to be. Banner also reveals that the Hulk has been absorbing gamma lately, which gives Reed and Banner a good idea. This plan was a little confusing to me, so just in case anyone feels the same way, I'm explaining it a bit more thoroughly. Loki expelled all the gamma energy from Banner, and Spider-Man ended up absorbing it. That part is easy enough to understand. But Loki just expelled the gamma energy, not the literal Hulk. So the Hulk still remains within Banner, he just no longer has access to the aforementioned energy. Therefore, he can no longer physically transform into the Hulk. With that revelation, Reed and Banner come up with a brilliant plan involving a contained gamma explosion to jumpstart Banner's Hulk juices. I never thought I would use Hulk and juice in the same sentence before, but here we are. When Banner transforms, he will then absorb the gamma energy from Spidey, saving the day. Just before the aforementioned plan is about to go in motion, Banner and Spidey have another incredible conversation. Spider-Man says, "I was just thinking, how is it better if it's you?" Banner asks, "What do you mean?" Spider-Man proclaims, "I could keep it." Banner says, "You could? The Hulk is not your monster, not a burden for you to bear, but I really appreciate you offering." With Spider-Man saying, "Anytime. See you if we both survive." I mean, wow. There are so many different levels to that conversation. The slight pause after Banner says "you could," to me, this signifies Banner is genuinely considering the possibility. But in the end, the Hulk is not your monster, not a burden for you to bear. Banner couldn't possibly do that, because he knows Spider-Man is too good for his own good. The parallel of burden between the two characters is divine, as well as the shared fear of losing control as a result of becoming the Hulk. Spider-Man being willing to take on the strain of the Hulk is also terrific. It just doesn't get more Spider-Man than that. The gamma explosion gets detonated right at nightfall to synchronize with Spider-Man's transformation, and we get to see a little itty-bitty Hulk. Oh my god, he's so cute! And oh boy, does this Hulk get his ass whooped. I mean, just look at the fear in his eyes right there. Spider-Hulk gets a good few punches in. Tragically though, with each punch, Hulk is absorbing more and more gamma energy, until eventually he builds up enough strength to bear hug Spider-Man, thus siphoning away all the gamma energy. Now, with Spider-Man and Banner back to normal, there's another beautiful conversation. Spider-Man says, "That fear of losing control, of losing yourself, there's no way that goes away. I'm gonna stay with you. Just this once, Bruce. You don't have to be alone when you fade." Genuinely almost brings a tear to my eye. Much like earlier with Banner to Spider-Man, he understands the trauma Banner faces and aims to comfort him through his transformation. Dude, Spider-Man is so cool. Like, this comic is fucking awesome. And if you thought this comic was done being good, Hulk and Spider-Man also have an incredible heart-to-heart. Hulk says, "You stayed to be with Banner? That's something I can't do. Banner is my family. I'd do anything for him, but I can't be with him. I'm glad you were." You're a good man, Peter Parker. I'll try to remember that the next time we meet. Oh my god, you giant green teddy bear. Get over here right now, you need a hug. To be called a good man by the Incredible Hulk, whose entire being is rage and trauma, there is no higher honor. Especially considering that chronologically, the Avengers defeated and handed Hulk over to the government a few months prior, so he's not too high on other superheroes at this point, except for Spider-Man, whose actions throughout this comic have more than proven to the Hulk why he can trust him. There you have it. That's the end of the story, and I know I've mentioned this a lot, but dear lord is it good. Holy smokes. I know I'm biased considering Hulk and Spider-Man are my two favorite superheroes, but I can damn well assure you that the 12-year-old me who refused to read anything if it didn't have at least the Hulk or Spider-Man in it would be incredibly happy with this story. Lastly, here's one of the most important and hilarious Reddit threads I've ever read. Truly groundbreaking stuff being discussed. That's the end of the video. Thank you for watching.